Think I haven't seen you? Shoving back 24 cupcakes in the break room. 9 servings on Miro's truffle risotto night. Guess you wanted to cram in as much fat possible, huh? I would have
With all due respect, you've gained some weight recently.
It's 5 pounds at the most. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope, Lois. You start with 5 pounds, and then one day, boom, you wake up and you're on the practice with 16 rings in your ear.
Oh, you're one to talk. Look how fat you are.
Thank you, Moses.
Well, you're fat. You're fatty.
Doesn't bother me.
He's eating fatty.
Oh my God.
Go read a book and eat chocolate, fatty.
Lacey said, what's bigger than big? Me. Ain't nothing bigger than the biggest. I'm the biggest. You could be big, but I'm the biggest.
That's where you're going, fat ass.
I can see you burning, you disgusting fat Get up, stage.
What would you want to say to Gemma?
Pretty much, I would let Gemma know that she is a fat, and I think Gemma is just a disgrace. She's a disgrace to humanity, and she's a disgrace to women who are actually beautiful and classy, and she just doesn't have the vernacular that she thinks she possesses. Somebody lied to her several times and told her that she was fly, hot, and sexy and beautiful, and she's nothing like that. She's nothing of the sort.
Okay, this isn't gonna be a long video because I'm sure you've heard by now. Your girl Lizzo is in a bit of trouble. She's been accused by 2 backup dancers of creating a hostile work environment, to say the least. They're alleging that Lizzo would bully, berate, and humiliate them publicly, and the things she's being accused of are absolutely wild. According to her accusers, they were forced to perform lewd acts on erotic dancers, which includes, but is not limited to, eating bananas out of their reproductive openings, if you get what I mean.
But I'm trying to go to the show where you eat the banana out the Which one is that?
This is the banana bar.
Well, that's the banana bar?
Yeah, you
and they have the banana in the coochie?
And ping pong balls.
And you have to go...
Yes. And
that's what I want to do.
Then you have to eat it.
I need my potassium, if you know what I'm saying. My potassium.
She would also, quote, fat shame them. Apparently, Lizzo has a policy where she has to be the biggest girl on the stage. No one is allowed to rival her size. Now, all of that sounds unbelievably absurd. Eating bananas out of coochies and fat shaming other women for being fat when she's fat? It's hard to accept, but the thing that makes it all believable are the words from Academy-nominated director Sophia Allison. You see, she was supposed to collaborate with Lizzo on the creation of a documentary, but for reasons unknown, she abruptly pulled out. Unknown until now.
In this industry, in the music industry, in the TV industry, in Hollywood, where thin is everything. And she was the one person that was like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I'm so disappointed. I tend to believe that this happened. And the reason that I say this is because there was this Oscar-nominated director. Her name is Sophia Nali Allison. She is an incredible American documentary filmmaker and photographer. She was supposed to do Lizzo's documentary. She said she was treated with such disrespect by Lizzo that she ultimately made the decision to walk away after about 2 weeks because of the toxicity. She said, I was treated with such disrespect by her. I witnessed how arrogant, self-centered, and unkind she is. I was not protected and was thrown into a situation with little support. My spirit said to run as fast as you can, and I'm so grateful I trusted my gut.
Yeah, it was...
That's heavy.
And that right there lends credibility to everything that Lizzo has been accused of. Not only because it sounds consistent with everything that's been alleged by the background dancers, but because of who she is, a highly respected director in the industry. Her words carry weight, and she wouldn't speak haphazardly. But the thing that fascinates me the most is the fact that the mainstream media and the court of public opinion are against her. That clip I played came from The View, which is the epicenter of feminism. They would never wrongfully accuse a woman, but not just any woman, a woman of color, but not just any woman of color, an obese woman of color, who also happens to be rich. That's 4 layers of protected class status that Lizzo has enjoyed throughout the entirety of her career. You see, Lizzo is the golden caboose, sacred cow, the white elephant, much pun intended by the way. She's the face of the body positive movement, the body acceptance movement, because society wants men to look upon her disgusting body with desire. But not just any type of men, attractive men, high value men. They use her to browbeat them into accepting obesity as a standard. She's what they call a gatekeeper. And that's a title given to those in Hollywood that enjoy a high level of influence, power, and protection. Get in good with them and it will advance your career. Cross them and you'll never work again. And we've seen her flex this power many times. You see, Lizzo has a habit of putting her nasty body on display, which ultimately leads to an uproar of people complaining about having to see it because she's everywhere. Try as you might, you can't avoid her. Metaphorically speaking, she's the stain on society's drawers. No matter how much you wash, it never goes away. And every once in a while, for the past 3 to 4 years, she'll go online crying about how nobody loves her and how nobody finds her attractive. And she'll threaten to leave social media or stop making music, like that fat could ever live without constant attention. But the media believes it, and it makes headlines, and things happen in her favor. Facebook even went as far as to punish people for making fun of her. And recently, it led to comedian Aries Spears being cancelled after he compared her to the emoji in a pile of mashed potatoes. In fact, he was cancelled so bad that Tiffany Haddish caught a stray just for having worked with Aries Spears years ago. That's the power of Lizzo, or that was the power of Lizzo, because the media has turned on her. They're siding with her accusers. Now, she's released a statement on Twitter that I'm not going to bother to read because it's long and nobody cares, but she's denying it all. But believe it or not, the thing that really grabbed my attention wasn't the allegations of forcing her background dancers to eat stinky clam bananas, it's the fat shaming. And not just because of the irony of Lizzo being fat herself, it's the fact that she became the enemy. You see, I talk about propaganda on this channel, and normalizing obesity is a message that Lizzo pushes. Letting unhealthy women know that it's okay for them to embrace their bodies and condemning anyone that would shame them is what Lizzo is all about. Then she turns around and does the very thing she says she's against. The hypocrisy is mind-blowing. But you know what? I love it. You see, I've hated Lizzo for years, ever since she carried her big fat ass out the ocean and into the mainstream. My ultimate fantasy is that one day she'd fall over on stage, preferably of a heart attack. But watching her being harpooned for being a bully and a hypocrite, for throwing her weight around, is even better. Again, much pun intended. So with that, I'm going to close things right here. But before I go, follow me on my other social media platforms. And if you like this video, share the link. But most importantly, check out the other videos in my library, as I'm sure there's something there you will enjoy. Here's a preview of my latest work. So why did I tell you that story? Why did I go over what happened to the Tea Party? Well, I believe the same tactics that the media used to take down the Tea Party will be used again. Except this time, it will be used on those content creators and podcasters who advocate for men. They're going to look for the worst representation of who we are and appoint them as the titular heads of our movement, the manosphere movement, the pro-masculine movement, the RP community, or whatever you want to call it. And they're going to use these poor representatives as the poster child for why this content doesn't belong on social media. And it's all Kevin Samuels' fault.
What? That doesn't make sense.
Now I know that sounds crazy, but please hear me out. You see, the good thing about Kevin Samuels is that he was able to bring the concerns of men into the mainstream. And he did so in a manner that was palatable to women. And that's what made him so great. Even though his opinions were strong, provocative, and controversial, they didn't foment hatred towards women. To the contrary, women were his greatest supporters. They were his greatest allies, because he advocated for reconciliation between men and women and encouraged both to be better so they could build strong families and a strong community. Only a misandrist or an effeminist would oppose his message. So overall, he was a great representative, the perfect representative, and it made him a household name. The bad thing about Kevin Samuels is that he unintentionally created a template for success. Through no fault of his own, he showed people how to get rich off of producing this type of content. And so within the past few years, Particularly since his passing, we've seen an explosion of grifters and charismatic con artists trying to fill the void created in his absence. But these grifters and con artists are nothing like Kevin, because they don't share his goals or ambitions. Their primary motivation is to replicate his success, to make the kind of money he was making, because they see this entire movement as a hustle, something they can exploit. And they're a poor representation of what this entire movement is about. Again, I'm gonna date myself, but I remember when daytime talk shows were a thing, when we had hosts like Donahue, Oprah, Sally Jessy Raphael, who were having serious conversations about current topics in the news. But shortly after them, we had these ringmasters that saw the whole thing as something to exploit. And we started to see people like Morton Downey Jr., which laid the foundation for people like Jerry Springer. Maury Povich.
Pete, you are not.
And Jenny Jones.
Who's calling you in the middle of a show? It's actually his horse. He wants his face back.
And their shows were nothing short of a spectacle, where all of those serious conversations that were initially being had on these shows were reduced to people fighting on the air, because they didn't see daytime talk shows as something to be taken serious. They simply saw it as entertainment, thus bastardizing the genre. And so these con artists, these grifters, these shock jocks and trigger marketers that we currently have in the manosphere space are no different. They've picked up our talking points and turned them into a low-brow echo chamber of sophomoric rants, because their only ambition is to go viral, just so they can get more views, subscriptions, more memberships, super chats, cash apps, and PayPal deposits. But there's no substance to what they're saying. They speak with no depth of knowledge or understanding, because they're not trying to fix anything. Their motivation is money alone. And the worst part about these idiots, and that's it. That's all I have to say about it. What do you have to say about it? Leave a comment in the comment section and let's have a conversation. Okay, so you've heard me say this a million times. So if you like this video, please give it a like and leave a comment in the comments section and share the link on your social media platforms. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe and turn on that notification bell. That way you'll get alerts every time I upload new content. This is the Layman's Journal. Thanks for stopping by. I'm out.
Hell! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
And while I do appreciate you sharing, subbing, and leaving comments, I'm going to ask that you take another step further in keeping the channel going. I set up a membership plan for those of you who would like to offer further support in the development of this channel. It's not anything expensive or special. I'm just asking for 99 cents a month, which is enough for me to continue doing the work that I do here.
Help me! Help me! Help me!
In the future, there will be additional tiers with added benefits, but for right now, I just need your support so that I can cover basic costs. So please, sign up so I can continue bringing you awesome content. This is the Layman's Journal. I'm out.